If you grew up on family sitcoms in the 90s or early 2000s, you probably remember Full House. That pastel San Francisco home with three dads doing their best, where every problem was solved before the credits rolled and every hug landed right on cue. My family's favorite to watch was Everybody Loves Raymond, where love meant teasing, arguing, shouting across the kitchen, and showing up uninvited. Every family sitcom seems to follow the same patterns. Chaos, dysfunction, laughter, maybe a heartfelt moment, then some sort of life lesson or resolution. Picture perfect living rooms full of warmth, love, and lessons neatly tied with a bow. As a kid, I thought that's what family was supposed to look like, and how it would always be. Unshakable, constant, a safety net that always caught you before you hit the ground. But as you grow up, things start to shift. You start noticing the cracks, the flaws in the people you once saw as superheroes. You realize your parents weren't all knowing, they were just figuring it out too. And some of the things that once made you feel safe now make you feel misunderstood. Then you move out and start building a life of your own, and slowly that familiar bond starts to stretch thin. It's still there, but it feels different. Then you go back home and you catch yourself wishing there was a laugh track to smooth over the silence at dinner, or a soft piano cue to signal when it's time to say sorry. That's when it clicks why shows like Friends or How I Met Your Mother only bring parents in for an episode or two, because by then they're no longer part of your main cast. They've become guest stars in a story that's moved on. And that's why those family sitcoms we grew up on always seem to end right around when the last kid goes off to college. Because in real life, that's when your story stops revolving around the home you grew up in and shifts to the life you're building. That Full House feeling starts to show up in new places, like during late night talks at your friend's house, or with your roommates who start to feel more like siblings, with people who see you for who you are now, not who you used to be. This song is about that feeling. That bittersweet ache of going home and realizing it's not quite home anymore. Of knowing your family still loves you, but realizing that illusion of the perfect, unbreakable home was just that, an illusion. That's gotta be one of the hardest parts about growing up. When you find out that house only felt full because you didn't know any different. And no matter how much you love your family, knowing you can't go back to that version of home. But somewhere along the way, you find your people. You build your own full house with the ones who really know the new you. And if you're lucky, you learn to let go of what you wished that home was or thought it was supposed to be, and learn to accept it for what it is, the pilot of a much bigger story. A reminder of where your character arc began and how many new seasons you've written since. It may not be exactly the way you remember, but it still feels familiar, nostalgic in its own imperfect way, and maybe that's enough.